In the annals of history, few figures loom as large or as controversially as the man who sought to unite a nation under his iron fist. His story is one of ambition, brilliance, and brutality, a tempestuous saga that forever altered the course of Japan. This is the tale of Oda Nobunaga, the first great unifier. The mid-16th century was a time of chaos in Japan. The authority of the Ashikaga Shogunate had crumbled, plunging the nation into a century-long civil war known as the Sengoku period. Warlords, or daimyō, carved out their own domains, their samurai armies clashing in a relentless struggle for power. Into this fractured world stepped a young lord from the province of Owari, a man whose strange antics and flamboyant disregard for tradition earned him the nickname, the Fool of Owari. While his retainers despaired at his behavior, few could perceive the sharp, unorthodox mind that lay beneath the eccentric exterior. This was Oda Nobunaga, and his unconventional methods were a prelude to the storm he would unleash upon the land. In 1560 that storm arrived. The powerful daimyo Imagawa Yoshimoto marched on Kyoto with a massive army of over 25,000 soldiers, intending to seize control of the capital. Standing in his path was Nobunaga, with a force of barely 3,000 men. The odds were impossible, and conventional wisdom dictated a defensive siege. But Nobunaga was anything but conventional. Under the cover of a sudden, violent thunderstorm, he led a small, hand-picked force on a daring charge directly into the heart of the Imagawa camp. The surprise was total. In the ensuing chaos, Imagawa Yoshimoto was slain, and his formidable army disintegrated. The Battle of Okehazama was a legendary victory against overwhelming odds, announcing Nobunaga's arrival on the grand stage of Japanese history. With his name now echoing across the provinces, Nobunaga began his ambitious campaign of unification under the banner Tenka Fubu, to bring the realm under a single sword. He was a master of innovation, quick to recognize the transformative power of firearms. While others saw muskets as noisy novelties, Nobunaga organized and trained disciplined units of Ashigaru riflemen, deploying them in devastating rotating volleys that shattered traditional samurai tactics. His methods were as ruthless as they were effective. He crushed powerful Buddhist warrior-monk complexes that defied his authority, burning the sacred monasteries of Mount He to the ground, in a massacre that earned him the eternal enmity of many. For Nobunaga, nothing would stand in the way of his vision. By the early 1580s, Nobunaga was the undisputed master of central Japan, standing at the zenith of his power. He had broken the backs of his most powerful rivals and was on the cusp of total unification. He ruled with an iron grip, a fearsome and awe-inspiring figure who instilled both loyalty and terror. When the emperor sought to grant him the title of shogun, Nobunaga refused, instead adopting a title that would cement his fearsome reputation. In a letter to a rival, he declared himself the Dairokuten Mao, the demon king of the sixth heaven, a Buddhist deity of destruction. He was no longer just a warlord, he was a force of nature, a self-proclaimed god of destruction, ready to remake the world in his image. Yet, at the very peak of his power, the architect of a new Japan was brought down not by an external enemy, but by the one thing he never saw coming: betrayal from within. In the summer of 1582, while resting at Honnoji Temple in Kyoto, with only a small contingent of guards, Nobunaga was ambushed. The traitor was one of his most trusted generals, Akechi Mitsuhide. Surrounded, vastly outnumbered, and with no hope of escape, the Demon King saw his dream of unification go up in flames. As the temple burned around him, Oda Nobunaga, the man who had bent a nation to his will, performed seppuku, choosing to die by his own hand rather than fall to his betrayer. His death was a thunderclap that shook Japan, but his legacy was indelible. Oda Nobunaga had shattered the old order, laying the violent and necessary groundwork for the eventual unification of Japan. Though his own ambition was cut short in a blaze of fire and betrayal, the path he forged would be completed by his successors, forever marking him as the catalyst who dragged a nation out of chaos and into a new era.